Welcome back everyone. Today on the show, we're taking a close look at Kotak Mahindra Bank's latest financial results. They're one of India's leading private sector banks, offering a whole range of services from commercial banking to wealth management, based out of Mumbai, right?
That's right. A major player with a significant footprint. They've just released their audited financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board approved these results on May 3rd, 2025. We've got both the standalone figures for the bank itself and the consolidated figures which include its subsidiaries.
Excellent. So we get the full picture. Let's dive straight into the consolidated numbers first. How did the bank perform in Q4 and the full year on the top line?
Okay, looking at the consolidated total income for Q4 FY25, it came in at 27,174 crore rupees. Now that's actually down about 2.6% compared to the same quarter last year. However, sequentially quarter over quarter, it's up a healthy 13.5% from Q3. For the full financial year FY25, the total consolidated income was 1,03,076 crore rupees, which is a solid 9.3% increase year over year.
Interesting dip in Q4 year over year, but growth quarter over quarter and for the full year. What about profitability? EBITDA isn't explicitly mentioned, is it?
No, EBITDA isn't directly provided. So we'll use profit before tax or PBT as a proxy for operational performance before taxes. On a consolidated basis, Q4 FY25 PBT stood at 6,351 crore rupees. This is down 6.3% year over year compared to Q4 FY24. But similar to the revenue trend, it's up 2.8% quarter over quarter from Q3.
And for the full year consolidated PBT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PBT was 28,989 crore rupees. That's a strong 21.5% increase year over year. However, there's a significant exceptional item here we need to mention.
Okay. What's that?
The bank reported a substantial gain from divesting 70% of its stake in its general insurance subsidiary, Kotak General Insurance or KGI, which became effective in June 2024. This resulted in an exceptional gain of 3,803 crore rupees on the consolidated PBT for FY25.
Right. So if we exclude that exceptional gain, how does the underlying consolidated PBT look for the full year?
If we adjust for that gain, the underlying consolidated PBT for FY25 would be around 25,186 crore rupees. That's still up about 5.6% year over year, which shows some core operating profit growth, albeit more modest than the headline figure suggests.
Got it. So the KGI divestment really boosted the annual numbers. How does this translate to the bottom line, the profit after tax or PAT?
Consolidated PAT after accounting for minority interest and share of associates for Q4 FY25 was 4,933 crore rupees. That follows the PBT trend, down 7.6% year over year, but up 4.9% quarter over quarter. For the full year FY25 consolidated PAT was 22,126 crore rupees, up 21.5% year over year, again reflecting that KGI gain.
And excluding the KGI gain's impact on PAT?
The media release indicates the consolidated KGI gain impact on PAT was about 3,013 crore rupees. So excluding that, the underlying consolidated PAT for FY25 comes to around 19,113 crore rupees. That's an increase of about 5% year over year. So positive underlying growth, but significantly less dramatic than the reported 21.5%.
Okay, that context is crucial. What about earnings per share EPS on the consolidated side?
The basic consolidated EPS for the full year FY25 was 111.29 rupees, up nicely from 91.45 rupees in FY24. For the quarter, the annualized EPS was 24.81 rupees, which was down year over year but up sequentially from Q3.
Any significant movements in other income on the consolidated front?
Yes, other income showed some volatility. In Q4 FY25, it was 10,402 crore rupees, which was down 18% year over year but surged 42% quarter over quarter. This seems driven by swings in investment gains or losses and insurance-related income lines. For the full year FY25, consolidated other income was 37,407 crore rupees, slightly down 1.6% year over year. The results also mention a gain of 411 crore rupees in FY25 from aligning subsidiary and associate investment valuations as per RBI directions, which would sit within this or reserves.
Alright, let's switch gears to the standalone results, just the bank itself. How does its performance compare? Let's start with revenue.
For the standalone bank, total income in Q4 FY25 was 16,712 crore rupees. This was up 9.3% year-over-year and also up 4.1% quarter-over-quarter. For the full year FY25, standalone total income reached 64,338 crore rupees, a strong 14.7% increase year-over-year.
So standalone revenue growth looks quite robust, even in Q4 year-over-year, unlike the consolidated picture. What about standalone PBT?
Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 was 4,563 crore rupees. Now this is down 12.2% year-over-year, but up 4% quarter-over-quarter. The year-over-year drop seems significant here. For the full year FY25, standalone PBT was 21,584 crore rupees, up 19.8% year-over-year. But again we have an exceptional item.
The KGI gain again?
Yes, but the amount is slightly different at the standalone level due to the bank's direct holding carrying value. The exceptional gain on standalone PBT was 3,520 crore rupees for FY25.
Okay, and if we exclude that standalone KGI gain?
Excluding the gain, the underlying standalone PBT for FY25 would be around 18,064 crore rupees, which is almost flat compared to FY24, up only about 0.3%. So the standalone profit growth story for the year, excluding the divestment, looks much flatter than the consolidated one.
Very interesting contrast. And the standalone PAT?
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 3,552 crore rupees. That's down 14.1% year-over-year, but up 7.5% quarter-over-quarter. For the full year FY25, standalone PAT was 16,450 crore rupees, up 19.4% year-over-year, reflecting the KGI gain.
Let me guess, excluding the standalone KGI gain impact on PAT.
Right? The media release pegs the standalone PAT gain from KGI at 2,730 crore rupees. Removing that gives an underlying standalone PAT for FY25 of about 13,720 crore rupees. This is actually slightly down by 0.4% compared to FY24.
Wow, so underlying standalone profit actually dipped slightly year-over-year, while underlying consolidated profit grew 5%. That really highlights the contribution from subsidiaries in FY25.
Exactly. Subsidiaries like Kotak Securities, Kotak Prime, the asset management company and life insurance all seem to have contributed positively to offset the flat underlying performance of the standalone bank in FY25. BSS Microfinance did report a loss though.
How did standalone EPS look?
Standalone basic EPS for FY25 was 82.74 rupees, up from 69.15 rupees in FY24. The annualized Q4 EPS was 17.86 rupees, down year-over-year, but up quarter-over-quarter.
What about standalone other income?
Standalone other income grew consistently. In Q4 FY25, it was 3,182 crore rupees, up 6.9% year-over-year and 21.3% quarter-over-quarter. For the full year FY25, it rose 11.1% year-over-year to 11,418 crore rupees. This likely includes fee income, forex earnings and possibly dividends from subsidiaries.
Let's talk margins. How did profitability look from that perspective?
On the consolidated side, the net profit margin for Q4 was around 18.2%, down from last year, but up from Q3. For the full year FY25, it was about 21.5%, boosted by the KGI gain. Standalone NPM for Q4 was about 21.2%, again down year-over-year but up sequentially. The full year standalone NPM was around 25.6%. The standalone net interest margin or NIM was reported at 4.97% for Q4 and 4.96% for the full year FY25, indicating stable interest margins for the core bank.
And we already discussed the exceptional KGI gain, clearly impacting both standalone and consolidated figures significantly for the full year.
Yes, a major event for FY25. The difference in gain amount between standalone 3,520 crore rupees and consolidated 3,803 crore rupees reflects the different accounting bases.
Moving to the balance sheet, any key highlights from the consolidated or standalone perspective?
Both look healthy. Consolidated assets grew 14.6% year-over-year to reach almost 880,000 crore rupees. Advances were up 13% and deposits grew 11.1%. The net worth saw a substantial jump, driven by profits, the KGI gain, and also an upward revision due to adopting new RBI norms for investment portfolio valuation, which added over 3,600 crore rupees post-tax to consolidated net worth during the year. Consolidated book value per share ended at 792 rupees, up 21% year-over-year.
And standalone balance sheet?
Similar trends, standalone assets up 15.5%, advances up 13.5%, deposits up 11.2%. Asset quality remains stable for the bank. Gross NPAs were 1.42% and net NPAs were 0.31% as of March 25, very similar to March 24 levels. The provision coverage ratio stood at 78%. Capital adequacy is very strong for both. Consolidated CAR is 23.3% and standalone is 22.2%, well above regulatory requirements.
What about cash flows and dividends?
Looking at the consolidated cash flow for FY25, cash from operations was positive at 16,915 crore rupees, slightly up from FY24. However, there was a large outflow in investing activities, over 25,000 crore rupees, compared to 9,000 crore rupees outflow last year, likely reflecting increased investments. Financing activities brought in more cash, mainly via borrowings. Overall, the net increase in cash was lower than in FY24. The standalone cash flow showed lower operating cash flow compared to FY24 and a significant investing outflow. On dividends, the board has recommended a dividend of 2 rupees 50 paise per equity share for FY25, up from 2 rupees last year, subject to shareholder approval.
Okay, let's delve into the segment performance. Where is the consolidated strength coming from?
The consolidated segment results show retail banking remains the largest segment by assets and liabilities, contributing significantly to profit before tax, about 5,900 crore rupees in FY25. Corporate banking is the next big contributor, with PBT around 7,900 crore rupees. Treasury also posted a large PBT of 9,100 crore rupees. But remember, the consolidated results note indicates this segment figure includes the exceptional KGI gain. Excluding that gain of roughly 3,800 crore rupees, Treasury PBT would be around 5,300 crore rupees.
Good clarification. What about other segments like insurance?
The insurance segment has a large asset base, but contributed a more modest 1,153 crore rupees to the consolidated PBT in FY25. Other segments like vehicle finance, broking, asset management and advisory services all contributed positively to the overall profit.
So summing up the performance, how would you characterize FY25 for Kotak?
FY25 headline numbers look strong, especially the 21.5% consolidated PAT growth. However, this was heavily influenced by the one-off KGI divestment gain. The underlying consolidated PAT growth was more moderate at 5%. Importantly, the underlying standalone bank PAT was actually flat to slightly down year-over-year, indicating that subsidiary performance was key to the consolidated growth story in FY25. Q4 performance showed a year-over-year dip in profits for both standalone and consolidated entities, which bears watching. Positives include healthy NII and fee income growth, stable asset quality, and very strong capital adequacy. Provisions did increase significantly year-over-year though.
Any other significant notes or events from the reports we should highlight?
We've covered the main ones. The KGI divestment in June 2024 is key context. Also, the implementation of the RBI's Master Direction on Investment Portfolio Classification from April 1, 2024, positively impacted net worth and makes some prior period comparisons for investment income and reserves less direct. And of course, the dividend recommendation.
Now, a crucial part, the auditor's report. Anything investors need to be aware of there? Were there any qualifications or concerns raised?
This is a key positive here. We looked at both the standalone and consolidated auditor reports issued jointly by Deloitte Haskins & Sells and KKC & Associates LLP. Both reports provide an unmodified opinion. This means the auditors found that the financial statements give a true and fair view in accordance with accounting standards. There were no qualifications, no adverse opinions, and no emphasis of matter paragraphs concerning the core financials. They included standard points like relying on other auditors for certain subsidiaries and associates, and relying on appointed actuaries for insurance liabilities, which is normal for a group of this size and complexity. They also noted the Pillar 3 disclosures on the website are unaudited, which is standard practice. Overall, a clean bill of health from the auditors on the reported financials.
That's definitely reassuring, especially compared to some reports we see. So, what's the overall outlook based on these results?
Disclaimer. Please remember, this is for informational purposes only. We strongly advise investors to consult with certified financial experts before making any investment decisions. Kotak Mahindra Bank finishes FY25 with strong capital buffers and stable asset quality. The diversified business model, including contributions from subsidiaries, provides resilience. The headline profit growth was significantly boosted by the KGI sale, with underlying growth being more moderate. The dip in Q4 year-over-year profits needs monitoring to see if it's a blip or a trend. Key factors going forward will be sustaining loan growth, managing margins in the current environment, the performance of the general insurance business now with Zurich as a partner, and continued contributions from its various subsidiaries. Standard banking sector risks around credit quality and market volatility always apply.
Great analysis. So, to wrap up, Kotak Bank reported strong headline profit growth for FY25, largely due to the KGI stake sale. Underlying growth was more modest, particularly at the standalone bank level, highlighting the importance of subsidiary performance. Q4 saw a dip in year-over-year profits. However, asset quality remains stable, capital is robust, and crucially, the auditors gave an unmodified opinion on both standalone and consolidated results.
Precisely. A year marked by a significant strategic divestment, stable core operations, strong capital, and a clean audit report. Investors will be watching how the underlying growth trends shape up in the coming quarters.
Thanks for that comprehensive breakdown. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in.